Welcome to the DLJones Books Show. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on the new CW Arrowverse show, Superman and Lois. We'll get on that right after the intro. Here we go, another episode of the DLJones Books Show. I'm your host, DL Jones, and on this channel, I talk about all types of story-related topics. It could be topics based in movies, TV shows, video games, books, audiobooks. Anything that has a story could potentially be a topic on this show. Now, like I said a minute ago, I'm going to be talking about that new TV show, Superman and Lois. To be honest with you, I'm a big fan of comic book superhero type stuff, movies, TV shows. I'm actually more of a Marvel person, but I like them all. So it's not like a situation where I like Marvel, hate DC. It's no kind of versus situation when it comes to the superheroes. For me, I like all types of superhero shows. They don't even have to be Marvel and DC. One of my favorite movies is that movie. It wasn't a DC or a Marvel. At least I didn't think it was. That movie Chronicle, starring Michael B. Jordan. I thought that was a pretty good movie. So it doesn't matter, But in this particular episode, I'm going to talk about Superman and Lois. My thoughts on the first 3 episodes. The 4th episode come on tonight. I'm not sure if I'll get this video up today or not, but I'm recording this before the 4th episode, which will come on tonight. But I'm talking about my views on the first 3 episodes and what I think of the show so far. Now, to give you a little bit of history about me and all of the CW superhero shows, for the most part, I've liked them all. I'm a big fan of the Flash TV series. Arrow, I'm hit or miss. There have been some seasons where I've watched every episode, and then some of them where I kind of fell off. I generally like the show, but I wouldn't say it's something that I consistently kept up with. I was here and there with that show. Black Lightning is one of my favorite shows, and if that's about to end, and I'm kind of sad to see that going. I wish it was continuing. The League of Legends, I'm not really a big fan of that show. That's one that I've tried to give a shot a couple of times, and while I can't say I dislike the show, but I just have never been a fan of it. I've never been able to get into it enough to where I watched it. I watched it even less, with a little less consistency than I did with the TV show Arrow. And then you got Batgirl. Batgirl is a show that, to be honest with you, I never got into that show either. I was excited for it and it started, and I kind of fell off after a couple of episodes, and then they changed the character of Batgirl, and I'm to a point where I fell off again. I watched the first couple of episodes and I kind of fell off from that show again. So that show hasn't really stuck with me. But that's where I am with the CW shows. And as far as Superman, I did watch Smallville, and I was a big fan of the show Smallville back in the day, but I came to Smallville late. I don't know how many seasons it was, 10 seasons? It seemed like it was a million seasons. But I didn't come to Smallville until it was about to end. I think I caught up on Smallville probably about just before the start of the last season. Started from the beginning, and I binged all through the whole series to the point where I was eventually caught up with what was going on, live on television, and finished it out. I really liked that show. When it first came on, I remember seeing the commercials for it, and it didn't look interesting to me. But years and years later, I gave it a shot, started from episode number 1 and watched it all through and really liked that show. So now, what do I think about Superman and Lois and the new Superman and Lois? Well, if you ever watched the show Supergirl, the Superman that's in this series, in the Superman and Lois series, is the Superman that was introduced in the Supergirl CW show. In the Supergirl CW show, he kind of played second fiddle, which of course makes sense because it was Supergirl and not Superman. So when he showed up, he just showed up here and there, and he kind of just played like second fiddle to Supergirl and all of her cast, all of the cast of that particular show. So, he was around, you saw him in the uniform and everything, but, they didn't really flesh him out all of that much, so they come out with a new show, which I was surprised that they did it using that particular Superman character, but they did. The Superman and Lois show takes place in the same Arrowverse, so it's in the same universe with Flash and Black Lightning and Supergirl and all of those people, Arrow and all of those. So it's in the same universe, but there's some major differences in this show, in the Superman and Lois show, than there are for the Superman that we all know. For one thing, Superman and Lois, they're married, and just like in the previous Lois and Superman show years ago, which I didn't watch that show. I'm saying just like in that show, but I've actually never watched an episode of that show. But Lois knows Clark Kent is Superman. They know who each other are, and Lois's father, which is Superman's, Clark Kent's stepfather, he's like a general or something like that, and he knows that Clark is Superman, and they kind of work together. They kind of, the general, he kind of looks at Superman as like one of his soldiers. He calls him when he needs help with stuff and everything like that. And Superman is trying to be Superman while also being a husband and a father. Yes, in this show, he has 2 sons, not one, but 2 sons. They're twins. And one thing that they did with the sons is like you have one son who is sort of like a young Clark. He's a football player. He's really popular and everything. And then you have the other son, which is the problematic son, or they try to make us think he's the problematic son. He's the one that have had problems, sort of like behavioral problems or mental problems. I don't know if it's mental or more like emotional. He just seemed like he's always down and dark. He's the one that wasn't that popular and all of that kind of stuff. But the 2 brothers, they're kind of close. They're still brothers. They still love each other and they're kind of close. But, you have the one that's like the popular kid and the one that's like the not so popular kid. And the difference in this show is that, of course, if Superman had kids, you would guess that his kids would have powers too. Now, the way this season starts is one of the sons ended up finding out that they have powers, the other ones doesn't. So that's the thing. So I'm thinking as the series goes on, as the episodes goes on, we're going to eventually find out that both of them have powers. Both of the sons have powers. But as of right now, the first 3 episodes, it has only manifested in the one son. And it just so happened to be the one that the show wants us to think is the problematic son. He's the one that have the powers. The one that is, the show wants you to think that he's the least likely the one to have powers. Because the other son is the one that's like really good in football and real popular. You would think that he would be the one that have the powers. And actually in the first episode, Lois and Clark have kind of speculated that he did have powers, and they kind of speculated that his powers was why he was so good at football, and they needed to talk to him about it and stuff. But we found out that he actually doesn't have powers, and the other son is the one that have the powers, But so far, I'm really enjoying the show. It's not what I thought it was going to be. It's not really like a typical CW show. There is some CW-ness type stuff going on, but for the most part, it's like a straight up superhero show. You can tell that the budget is a lot better. Superman, the fight scenes and stuff that they have going on, him flying and everything, it just seems a lot better, almost movie quality. It seemed like they really took a lot of care and a lot of money went into those scenes, went into the look and feel of the show. The show actually feels sort of like I would say sort of like an HBO series or like a Netflix series. It feels like it's that high of a budget type series, and as far as the story and the drama and everything that happens in the show, it feels more like HBO style premium television type of series. About 75% of the show feels that way. Of course, it's a CW show, so they kind of put in that type of CW angsty teenager type stuff. Like I said, one of the sons have, he's the one that's sort of like the problematic son. Also the one that, as of right now, have found out he has powers. He's developing Superman type powers. He is also the one that's kind of like the angsty teenager, the moping around, dark, gloomy teenager walking around. Everybody kind of have to try to find out what's wrong with him and cater to him. The type of stuff that's really annoying in TV shows that CW kind of do all the time in their shows. They do it here. This time it's with, one of the twins, one of Superman's kids. But it's not to the point, it's not to the extent that you see in other shows. It's only like it's a smaller portion of the show, that takes up that type of space, that type of gloomy space, teen angsty type, mindset in the show. It's only it's a smaller part of the show that does that compared to the other shows, and it's not enough to where it kind of, distracts too much. A little bit it does, but not too much. But other than that, I'm really enjoying the show. So far they've introduced, sort of like what's going to be like the big threat for at least the first few episodes anyway, is there's a guy that's sort of like a Lex Luthor, but he's from another dimension, and he shows up in this dimension because I'm guessing the Earth in that Lex Luthor's original dimension had an evil Superman, and that Superman kind of, I guess destroyed everything. So now that Lex Luthor is in, this dimension, the arrowverse, and thinks that, he's still looking at Superman as being the evil Superman from his dimension. So, they're setting that up to be like this big battle based on a misunderstanding, because he thinks Superman is bad, and he's trying to warn everybody that, he's dangerous and he's bad. And he's, basically attacking Superman and randomly attacking him and stuff like that, while Superman is going about his business trying to deal with, his family, being a father, being, and all of this other kind of stuff, and other threats that's going on, But yeah, it seems like that part of the show is being developed right now. We haven't seen too much yet. We had a pretty decent battle with him. Well, actually, it was two of them, with Superman and the Lex Luthor character from the other dimension. But yeah, so far it's been pretty good. It's I'm enjoying it so far. I'm going to continue watching it. Let's see. As far as all of the other CW shows, I would say my favorite has been up till this point, The Flash. The Flash has been my favorite show, There are some times where The Flash kind of falls off, because if you've been watching The Flash from the beginning, that they have hit or miss seasons, hit or miss storylines. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's just okay. So there are some times where, for example, Black Lightning. When Black Lightning, the first season of Black Lightning, I thought was awesome. That was my favorite season, during that time. And so far, if I look at what's going on right now, how I feel about all of these shows right now, I would say that Superman and Lois, the first 3 episodes that I've watched right now, have our tops right now as far as CW superhero shows. Yeah, that's probably my favorite right now. I don't know if the whole season will continue to be my favorite, if it's going to keep getting better and better, or is it going to die off? I don't know. We'll see. But for right now, I'm in for the long haul. I'm in to see what's going to go on, as the season goes on. And another episode comes on tonight. I'm going to watch it tonight. So that's where I'm right now. Right now, I like the show. I think it's a good show. I think the story is pretty good. It has that premiere TV, prime television viewing that you get when you watch shows that will be on, like HBO or, Netflix, some of Netflix shows and stuff like that. Some of that prime TV viewing, it has that feel to it with a little bit of the CW teen angst stuff thrown in. But yeah, but it basically, for the most part, it has that feel as like premiere television, and I like that. I like that feel, and I like the way, I like that they're shooting for that with this show. And which is deserved, is Superman. You gotta, I know it's a TV show, and TV shows usually have smaller budgets, and special effects are usually toned down and stuff like that. But yeah, you gotta shoot for the stars with a show like if you're gonna make an actual Superman show, which it looks like that's what they're doing. So far, I'm in. I'm watching it. I think it's good. I think you should try it. You should check it out. And we'll see how things happen as the season go on, but I'm in right now, and that's pretty much all I got to say about it. So I want to know what you think about it. Have you been watching Superman and Lois? If you have, what do you think about it? Do you like it? Does the teen angsty stuff that CW usually put in their shows, is that a turnoff for you? It's always a turnoff for me. Is it that way for you, or do you like that? Is that one of the reasons why you keep coming back to those shows? I don't know. Let me know. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about it. And thank you for watching my video. I'll be talking about some more stuff. I'm going to be talking about some more superhero shows. And I hope you guys stay here, come back, and watch my videos as I create them because I love talking about it. Hope you like watching them. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. While you're here, why don't you check out that video right there? Or maybe that one right there. And while you're at it, go ahead and click that little picture of my image there and subscribe to my channel.